I'm Shannon Scott, owner and operator of Naturalistic Salon Spa in Sacramento, California. I'm also a member of the California Black Women's Health Project, here to show you just an example of what I have termed Hairapy. The conversations that I have with my clients are some of the most magical, empowering conversations that I have. So I wanted to give you a glimpse of how Hairapy actually works here in the salon. We cover so many topics as Black people because oftentimes we don't have a place to have these conversations. We don't have a safe space to be able to really talk about childhood trauma and just insecurities and what we were taught as children. So I've created a space for us to be able to have those conversations. I hope you like. Peace. So I would say I was pretty blessed as a child because I got some pretty good positive messages about my hair. And my mom and my dad were very intentional about wanting to make sure we had self-love and pride of being Black and African. And my dad would say commonly, you're a dark-skinned Black queen.
Yes, affirm you.
Yes, so I can say that my dad was literally the first person to call me a queen, and that's beautiful.
That's powerful.
Yes, so I think that made a huge difference, especially when that family unit was strong. Getting that from both sides, my mom and my dad. But it just makes a huge difference when you have the opposite sex, your father saying, affirming beauty. And
absolutely.
He would specifically say, you're dark skinned. And so I just felt like all of that encompasses, like even my hair and everything. I felt like that was telling me that I was enough.
Yes.
So it really wasn't until I started, my parents did break up, and that did make a difference. That strong Black family unit is so important to keep. But I would say it wasn't just...
priceless.
Exactly. So it wasn't just that. It was, school, the pressures from school, kids telling me I'm dark-skinned and ugly, or just seeing it on TV and things like that, even though my parents tried so hard to keep the Black art in the house, all the beautiful images in the house of Black African people, it still, we get those pressures in school.
It still creeps in your psyche.
Exactly. When you see it on TV all the time.
Yeah.
I started equating dark skin with not having good hair. Because anybody that had good hair or had more attention in school that didn't get talked about for being dark or whatever, they either were lighter complexion or they were mixed.
Got it.
Yeah.
So there's colorism and there's texturism as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, and oftentimes those two things go hand in hand. So that's very... Ooh, I just love the fact that your parents were so intentional about empowering you and seeing you and not just treating you like, you're just a kid and just be a kid. No, they were very intentional about knowing who you are in the world that you are going to grow up in.
Yes.
So that's beautiful. So you didn't get blindsided by, the world when you went outside and they told you, oh, no, you're dark skinned. No, you have nappy hair. Your parents already built you up.
Yeah.
So even though it was able to get into your head, just think if you didn't have that foundation.
Exactly.
Man, I remember growing up, my parents weren't, my mom, she tried to comb my hair, but she really didn't know how. So, I would just go with some real busted hairstyles. And my hair broke off, really bad when I was... I think it was around the time that my parents divorced. So not only am I going through the trauma of my parents divorcing, well, now the whole back and sides of my hair is gone. So that was just a very traumatic experience for me. I remember growing up with my sister. She played softball. She's 4 years older than me. And so her peers would line me and my peers up, and they would pick daughters. And nobody would pick, my own sister wouldn't even pick me as a daughter.
Oh my God.
Yes. And so I had no noticed very early on, like the girls that were picked were the girls with the long curly hair.
Oh,
And
wow.
when they would pick the daughters, they would do their hair, just comb their hair the whole time, playing with them.
The more manageable.
Yes, the more manageable, presentable, beautiful hair. So that message to me was, you're not good enough, you're unwanted.
And that's
all
from
due
your
to
own
my hair. From
peers.
my own, yes.
Your own peers.
My peers and my family.
Your family.
Yeah, so it's just a trip how those things like really just play on your self-esteem and your self-worth.
Right.
From something that you can't even control. This is what you was born with. So
wow.
It's just really powerful how that stuff plays out.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it makes a big difference because I would say, even as you go into adulthood, because I would say, my parents they had that strong family unit when I was younger, but then when they did break up, some of those ideas did creep in. My mom did lax up and give me a perm because she thought it was more manageable. Mm-hmm. So I would regularly, even in adulthood, I'm just doing what I was taught, what I felt was more manageable. So I continue to regularly perm my hair. And I think it's just it's very detrimental. It's when you have from grandparent to parent to child, when you're getting a perm at such a young age, that's all you know. You don't know how you're not taught to manage your hair the way it grows out your own scalp.
Not even taught to love your hair the way it grows out.
Exactly. And so, obviously our parents got that conditioning, and they just passed it on. Exactly. Not even sometimes consciously knowing what they're doing. Nope. They're passing that down to us.
Yeah.
So even through adulthood, I just, I always got perms and things like that. And then I would continue that. And I started, so throughout college and after college, I kind of started coming to my own realization of who I am as a Black woman, who I am, period. Like, who is I, Solly? Who, like, what is my own perspective without any influences, outside influences? Mm-hmm. And that's when I decided I want to go natural. I want to do something different, And so when I went natural, oh my gosh, it was just such a huge epiphany of like, wow, like I have even my family wondering why I'm natural, asking questions.
Yes.
Why is your hair short?
Are you okay?
Yes. I would say, oh my gosh, like I would get dressed for an interview and I would look in the mirror and I'd be like, something's missing.
Yeah.
I don't feel finished.
You don't feel as kept in it.
I feel unkept.
Yes.
Exactly. So I would literally have insecurities and about, should I go into this interview with this actually? So that's the pressure. That's a racial racism aspect. That it roots from. So I'm like, okay, now I'm going into society. I'm going into an interview with this. Even if it's barely accepted from my family, wow, would it be accepted in this interview that I'm going to?
Yeah.
So that made a huge difference. I really had the men that would definitely be attracted to me or that would want to approach me. Definitely that would change the amount, the frequency that would happen. So that had a hit on my self-esteem.
Yeah.
So I had to literally dig deep in order to keep that confidence and learn to just accept myself for who I am. And that, that really helped, just like really digging deep and knowing who I am and just getting that confidence. Because now you're not getting the confidence from anybody else, any outside sources.
They're not validating that no more, honey. It's on you. Yes.
For real. So now it's really up to you. Who are you? Are you hiding under this wig? Or do you really just like it? If you like it, okay. But if you're
hiding under this as an adult because, I mean, obviously people have alopecia, and obviously those are different reasons why people wear wigs. But there can be, some people are really masking their own self-esteem issues.
Yeah, definitely, to each his own. But if your decision to do it is because you feel unworthy without it, you feel like you're just not good enough, like you're not beautiful without that hair, if you are hiding behind that hair, then you got to get to the roots of where is that coming from.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, I remember my hair journey going from, you know, just a child with this kinky, unmanageable, breaking off hair to now, boom, let's get a perm. So I'm in the 4th grade with a perm, and I'm just in the mirror just combing this long, not long, but this flowing hair and
manageable and
oh my gosh, like this is everything I've ever wanted, right? And so now I'm beautiful. Now I'm worthy. So that, oh my gosh. And then growing up, I had to take it further because I'm noticing that my friends who got this long flowing hair, they're getting all the attention. I'm not getting it. So let me go get a weave.
Right.
So now I'm rocking these weaves, and I got the blonde weaves, the red weaves, and you know I'm purchasing all this hair,
right,
to replace what that shame that I have inside, to mask it and hide it.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh! And so there's the validation, there's the attention that you're getting.
Right.
But it was until I was actually in a salon chair getting my wig done when I had an aha moment. And finally just started really thinking about the standard of beauty in this country. And if it's designed for black women to fit that standard, why do we have to alter ourselves? So it's not even for us. So I said to the stylist, this is the last time you're going to perm my hair. And from that moment on, I went on this journey of just really discovering who I am as a black woman and how to redefine beauty for me on my terms.
Exactly.
So I tried to rock an afro, but had no knowledge of how to manage a fro. So I tried to comb through a fro with a rat tail comb. So
you have to.
Oh my gosh,
relearn.
there was no knowledge. Yes, I had no clue on how to take care of my hair. Why? Because all we're taught growing up is how to change your hair, how to press your hair.
Exactly.
Nobody taught me how to love it. So just going through that was a struggle. So then I started my locks, and I'm thinking, I go to a black college, they gonna love my hair. Honey, I went back to school. I got talked about so bad with these locks. This was 20 years ago. This wasn't when, locks is popular now, but honey, it was not 20 years ago.
At a black college?
At a black college. I had older ladies telling me they will pay for me to get my hair done.
Oh, no.
Yes. So this is still down south, So even though this is a wonderful black empowering environment, no, we're still holding on to that slave mentality.
You have to conform.
Oh my gosh, yes. We have not broken free. Like, yes, it's wonderful you have all these black people together, but what do we truly believe about ourselves? What have we been taught? And if you don't do the intentional work of really dismantling all those messages, you're going to carry it on throughout your life.
Exactly. And I feel like it's so important. Like, if you understand that our hair is unique to us. God blessed us with this
in your box.
beautiful phenomenon. Our hair grows against gravity.
It defies gravity.
Gravity.
Whose hair can stick straight up?
Exactly. It connects us
oh my gosh.
to the divine sun.
Come on now.
It connects us. It keeps us cool when it's really hot out. It protects our scalp. That's why our hair grows like that. That is unique to us as African black people.
Yeah.
So if you embrace that and you understand that, just embrace who you are, period. Whether your hair is short, long, curly, coily, the tight coils, whatever it may be, just really just embracing that beauty, because actually beauty standards change all the time.
Right.
So if you don't really accept who you are, then it's just, you will never get down to the root issue.
Exactly. That's the work that you have to do. You have to really go search within and think about all of the lies that you were taught, all of those messages that you were taught about yourself, about who you are, about your beauty. Go one by one down that list of what you were taught and ask yourself, is Is this really serving me? How does this message serve me? And if it's not, you got to dismantle that message.
Exactly.
You got to get that out of your psyche. Replace it with affirming messages of who you are. Reclaim who you are.
Exactly.
Because if you don't, you're just going to keep falling victim. Like today, we have the Crown Act, but do you know how many women still sit in my chair still afraid to express who they are naturally? Like,
wow.
okay, we can fight to get these laws passed, but if you don't do that inner work, it's worth nothing.
And it's sad that we even had to pass a law like that. This is
Girl,
how
it's
our
shameful.
hair
It's
grows.
shameful. I gotta get a law passed to be me?
Right? This is how it grows out my
Oh
scalp.
my gosh, it's just so deep.
Right, and the fact that you just have to, like you said, learning how to love your hair, but just learning how to just, the simplest ways of taking care of it. When I went natural, I felt like I had to prove to the world that I can accomplish this.
Right.
I can go natural. And then even when it was growing and getting full, it was, it had the shrinkage. So then I had to over explain it, and I grew frustrated and exhausted explaining that to my family. Like, yeah, it is long, but it's shrinking and things. But that's what makes our hair unique. It's like we said, it grows against, it defies gravity.
Yeah.
So it's like if you learn those things and you embrace yourself and you understand that you are uniquely beautiful, then you will be okay. This is our hair is
what
versatile.
We're doing today, huh?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's very versatile.
Yes.
You gonna have your shrinkage, then you can, you could braid it down, you could do a braid out, stretch it out a little bit if you want to. You could wear it in its most natural short form. You could get locks. It'll show its length.
Yeah.
If you get locks, it'll grow down.
Yeah.
So I mean, our hair is so versatile.
It's
beautiful.
versatile, but we also have to be very mindful of the messaging that the beauty industry puts out there, because this is a multi-billion-dollar industry based off of very much deeply rooted self-hatred.
Right.
So the goal is to always make you feel inferior, make you feel like you want that picture, you want that look. And oftentimes, even in the natural hair industry, that look is either chemically processed, it could be a wig, it could be them curls is done by a curling iron, not growing naturally out of your head. So we still chasing these images instead of accepting what we have growing out of our heads. Wow. So we have to just be very mindful, because they're going to try to get you somehow, some way, make you think that, oh, this product is what's going to make your hair look like this. No, go within. Check that diet. Check them hormones. Check if you're on medication. All of that stuff affects your hair. Like, we're not cookie cutters.
Right.
It's not a cookie cut look. It's not a one size fits all. You got to check everything when it comes to your individual hair. It's an individual journey.
Exactly, because even when you get when you get locks or you go natural, some people go wrong because they're comparing themselves to the other natural person.
Other natural person.
The other person with traditional locks. So it's like, no, you still have work to do.
There's work.
Because you're comparing yourself
your
to someone
DNA
else.
is not their DNA.
Exactly.
Like, I've been doing hair for 20 years, and I can't tell you two people who are sitting here with hair that is the same.
Wow.
It's not the same. Everybody is very uniquely designed.
Wow.
That's the beauty of who we are.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, with our children, we don't have children yet, but we definitely, my husband and I, we want to be very intentional about changing that standard of the vision of what that standard of beauty is for our children.
You have to be.
I definitely want to continue what my parents did, and the Black images, the art, the everything just surrounded by Black beauty, and affirming that positivity and that self-love and that pride in being Black and African into them. In addition to that, different stages of their life, you may have to approach it differently. So I would want to, when you tell your child something when they're 5 about them being beautiful, it's going to sound different when they're 10 or when they're 15. And they're going to be approached with different types of conditioning and at those different stages in their lives. So just wanting to be aware of that social media would probably be at all time, like it'd probably be just very different by the time we have children. So just being aware of like, okay, maybe keeping them off of the social media, surrounding them around community events in real life where people actually, it's not just mom and dad. Oh, that's just what mom and dad is on, because I see this all the time. I see something different when I go to the school events or something like that. Even though we want to homeschool our children, that's another way of controlling their environment. But of course, we don't want to like be just they're only exposed to us, you know?
Right.
So
creating an environment around them that looks like them.
Exactly.
Yes,
so
so
seeking out, you know, certain community events that also show embracing African culture and black love and self-love and things like that.
Absolutely.
So I think that's, you know, something that I would want to also add with our children, and just making sure our husband, my husband and I, we're on the same page, and we want to be consistent with them. We want to be intentional, instilling the power of positive affirmations into them at a young age, and just staying consistent and present and very intentional with our children. I see what you do with your daughter and your son, your daughters.
It's real, like you have to be, like you're saying, intentional about it. Like when my daughter was in preschool, I sent her to school with an afro. And by the end of the day, her teacher, when I went to go pick her up, her teacher pulled me outside and said, I'm going to need you to put some braids back in her hair. I said, okay, so first of all, the teacher was black. So I was really just taken aback by that.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. So I'm like, I'm trying to empower my daughter to love her hair, and you tell me to braid it up?
Woo,
oh, no.
Conditioning.
So the next day, I picked her afro out even bigger. I took a picture of her, sent her to school, but I took that picture, I created a hair book, and put her picture on the cover of the book. Because I need her to understand that she's beautiful no matter what. In all shapes and forms, she's beautiful. Wow. And to love her hair and to see herself on the cover of a book.
Right.
Yeah, and so she has since locked her hair, so she's had locks for 7 years now.
Aww.
And now social media is taking effect, and even though my daughter is very empowered in her locks, loves her locks.
Right, because she asked for them, right?
Yeah, she asked me when she was 5 for her locks.
So that shows the work you were doing. At that time.
And I needed it to not just be me that she saw, so she's here often seeing all the beautiful black people that come in here and that love their hair. I've even taught my husband how to twist her locks.
Oh my God!
So he gets in her head, and so it's not just a thing for she and I. He takes part in that too.
That is beautiful.
Affirming her as he's doing her hair. It's a beautiful, very intentional thing.
So important.
Yes,
but need that opposite sex affirming from our
father.
Father first.
Yes. It's very we just have to do the work. It's necessary. And it's not something that we take lightly. It's not something that we just say, oh, she's just a kid. She'll figure it out. No. We got to do the work. We have to build her up, because we're putting her in a society that's going to tell her that she's not supposed to look like this. She's supposed to look like that.
Right.
So, even with my daughter now being exposed to social media, she's now saying, oh, I want my edges laid. So I have to explain to her 9 times out of 10, them edges is laid because them edges is broke off. So you want to break off your edges? So you need to accept the fact, or be encouraged in the fact that your edges are not broke off.
Exactly.
So let's celebrate that. So I'm constantly having to just redirect, because the things that you see, you start thinking, oh, I need to look like that. Oh, that's what's beautiful. Oh, no. Honey, where is that coming from?
Combating what they're seeing.
I have to combat it. Yes. And
I understand. So
right, they don't get it. They don't even know where that comes from. But they just want it. They want to be a part of something.
Right.
Like I had to recently tell a client who she gets her daughter's hair braided often, and she says, I was telling her, like, I get it that it's it takes time away from you having to do her hair daily, but when she takes those braids out, that's when the work begins. because no longer she has these long flowing braids.
Oh, you're talking about extension.
Yeah, extension braids. Yes.
Right.
So when you take them out, that's when you look at yourself in the mirror and you start to that feeling of unworthiness and those insecurities. They start to creep in right then and there when you take that hair out.
That's so true.
So I told her, I said, so when her hair is out of them braids, I want you to take a picture of her. You need to blow that picture up and you need to put it in her room and you need to have her do affirmations to that picture.
Exactly.
To know, to affirm who she is without that hair.
Exactly.
If not, you could be setting your kids up for failure of appreciating what they actually have.
Right, giving them breaks from the weaves. Like, you know, obviously I'm not a parent yet. I can't tell other parents how to parent. But I would say a lot of these children may have it a lot tougher than us and at my age too, because that I was when I was younger, because I still was a part of the age where we had the knockers in the hair, the beads, we had the barrettes.
Right.
We still had those things, and we were still able to be childlike and innocent. And when I see young children with these long weaves or these long braids, or sometimes even weaves, even like 6th grade, 7th grade, I'm like, woo, the work
is a chance.
they would have to do.
Yep, that's self-esteem.
I mean, and obviously their parents are the ones that got it really tough, so they're passing it down to their children. You know, so
it's generational.
Generational.
At what point are you going to write down what those messages really are in your head and dismantle each one by one? Right. If it's not serving you, let it go. Affirm who you are and stop believing what you've been taught about who you are.
Exactly. Oh, I think that's so cool. So your husband,
oh my gosh, I had to take a picture, get footage. So cute.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I'm so blessed that, you know, my husband and we are on the same page. So we know we not trying to perm our kids' hair.
Yeah. It's so important for dads to get involved in the messaging for young girls.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's just so powerful for them to hear from a man, because that's 9 times out of 10, that's the attention that they're looking for. From men to affirm it, from boys in school to affirm them.
Exactly.
So when their fathers do it.
Yeah, when your father does it first, that makes a big difference, because a lot of children, they're looking for love in all the wrong places when they get older.
Yeah.
And you gotta, that is just so important.
Yep.
So I'm so big ups to my pops.
Yes. Okay, let me go on and give him a hand clap, because that is beautiful.
Yes.
Powerful and necessary.
I remember he would whisper to me when I was younger. He would be like, I'm gonna tell you something that nobody would tell you, but the black man and the black woman, they were the first human beings on this planet. I felt so empowered at a young age.
Yes.
And it's beautiful that now it's not something that has to be whispered or said.
Right.
Because,
you say it loud today.
Yes, I mean, for real. Like, it's like, because I do see it. That awareness is out there. So people are waking up. That's why we are seeing more natural hair, locks, people embracing their own beauty.
Come back to yourself. That's what it's about.
Definitely.